Hey everyone, and before anyone asks, yeah, I'm perfectly aware I'm extremely late on this chapter review. It's my only excuse is that it's one of those things where the first site I normally use to read all of Hiro Mashima's manga, it wouldn't update the latest chapter, so it's like I had to. So and I didn't realize that until recently. So I finally just I looked on an app I downloaded for manga, and yeah, I read it there. But okay, in saying that, majority of this chapter is basically our heroes attempting to escape the underworld as Elfid makes every attempt to destroy it and Lip, which in the process leads to Saru making the final sacrifice to see his students escape. And just being brutally honest, I'm actually quite split on Saru's sacrifice in this chapter, because on one hand, it's a rather interesting through line with this character and how he is so unabashedly noble that both in life and in death he makes the same sacrifice for the sake of his students. So that's the part I do love, and yet despite how much I love it, part of me can't help but feel like Mashima took him out of the story too soon. Like, don't get me wrong, his death is another in the long list of moments that shows just how much of a psychotic threat Elfid is, and it's good we do have those stakes to contend with. But Saru has always been a strange character for me in the sense where he died. After he died, I had this feeling like we could have gotten more with him. So when he returned, I was glad that we got that chance for the little time I guess that there was now. But again, with this chapter where we see him die again, I found myself coming full circle back to how I felt the first time he died. So I guess what I'm saying is here is that Saru's death is thematically resonant but narratively messy. Like I never with Saru I feel like I never truly got to know him as much as I would have liked. I think that that's ultimately where my biggest gripes are coming from with Saru is that I like the character, but I feel I never truly got to know the character all that much either. Um, Having said that, this chapter went out of its way to prove that what we learned to be true, which is to say, faith really is a god's biggest weakness, as Alfred quite literally destroys the souls of the dead in order to kill Lip. Now, the question is, how exactly are we expected to apply that same logic to Elfid, whose flock of believers is much more broad? Just convincing them to stop believing, isn't going to be enough. They have to actually witness, I think, the cruelty and manipulation he uses in order to get people to believe and pray to him. But obviously, he he kills any witnesses, he kills any witnesses who are non-believers, so to speak. So when they come face to face with him again, it really is going to be a battle of attrition, like one where they're going to have to juggle staying alive while protecting others and not giving an inch to Elfid, which, yeah, those last two are definitely going to be the most difficult, because the hardest part about any kind of final battle with Elfid is that it's a battle that needs spectators. The world needs to see the false god that he is in order to properly kill him, but he but he also kills those who are non-believers, so any battle is going to be about not giving him room in order to go in for the kill. Otherwise, it'll be GG's. Also, I'm not gonna lie. While I don't want to see him redeemed, I still do want to know just what the hell happened to Elfid, because throughout the entirety of this mini arc, Lip made it clear that as day that something has happened to Elfid, and at this point, I'm still very much on the train of thought that it's some kind of Satan Antichrist possession scenario. The only question now is from what angle Mashima would approach with that, since if it's true, considering we've already gotten our look at what is essentially hell or the underworld in this case, so it's like, or maybe they're different varieties of the underworld, I don't know, but yeah, it's, it'll be interesting to see what route they kind of go with, just what route Mashima goes with, how he's handling the supposed like sort of possession kind of sort of like the sort of what exactly is wrong with Elfid in a way. And but aside from that, it's like, yeah, I think But even putting that aside, though, like I think one of the things though that is kind of very telling though about Elfid though is I think he seems to be on this sort of power trip thing where he wants to be the one true god of the world. So it's like in order, but the thing is, if what we also say, if we also believe from basically that book to be true, that there are possibly other gods in this world as well. So it's then becomes a question of of are those other gods going to appear? Like what exactly is the are those other gods? Is he trying to draw those other gods out in order to kill them like he did with Lip? Because if that's the case, then yeah, those other gods can't exactly remain silent either. Um, and now, in saying that, there are a couple critiques I do have with this chapter. The first one is that I don't even. The thing is, I don't. With this first critique, I don't even know if it was like intentional to just show how psychotic Elfid is, or if it was a translation error. But there's a panel where Elfid repeats the phrase, "Fighting ain't fun unless it's against someone like the god of the underworld." He repeats that phrase 2 times. And again, I got no idea if that was intentional or a translation error. I'm tempted to say the former only because on every other translation of the chapter I've looked at, it's all the same. But if that's the case, it's a rather bizarre narrative choice to make. Even with using the perception that Mosh was trying to make Elfid seem unhinged and just psychotic, it does feel strange to kind of just repeat that like twice in the same breath. Like I don't know what the idea from what Mashima's idea was there, but it's again a little strange. The other critique I do have is there were a few moments that felt like padding in this chapter. The entire thing of Setsuna flirting with Hien felt entirely unnecessary to this chapter, other than even as a bit of brevity to the situation, it kind of just fell flat on its face for me, and felt like it was just taking up extra space Mosh was trying to fill. And the other issue with this again is a pacing issue, like I mentioned before, where it feels like there are little tiny tidbits within this chapter of where we learn information I would have really liked to see explore more, but learning learning that Hien had been training with Lip, I would have liked to see more of that relationship explored, but with the destruction of the with us like going full force into the destruction of the underworld, there wasn't much time to explore that really. So it's like I'm hopeful we'll see a lot of that explored a little post-mortem now that we've escaped from the underworld. But yeah, again, kind of the similar problem I had where it feels like Mashima's kind of rushing things a little bit with this whole mini arc. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe to me on Blue Sky and on this Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight of Annoy signing off. Later, everyone.